All right, welcome back to class. So this time around, we're going to do things a little bit differently. Yes, we're going to have a note set to do, but along with the note set, we've got two videos. So anytime that I say stop this YouTube video, what I want you to do is to open up the other YouTube video because you have two about 8-minute long videos on Hannibal. It's his story. It's a half-hour show that's actually split into 3 parts, which is good. We'll watch the first 2 parts today, and then we'll finish it up tomorrow, or probably Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Fair warning, tomorrow you do have, and Friday, you have a quiz. You need to not check in, but you need to show up during that period because what you're going to do is you're going to take that quiz during class. No notes, nothing open. I'm going to have GoGuardian open, and you're going to have the time frame in order to do a little write-up quiz on stuff that you should have learned for the week. So heed my warning. You may want to go back and look at your PowerPoints and stuff and study a little bit. So I won't be talking long today, probably about 10 minutes, and then you're going to have 2 segments of videos to watch. And so what we'll do is I'll say pause, and then I want you to pause this video, and then I'll have you go watch it, and then when you come back, you hit start, and then we'll come back again, and then you end with another video. So that simple, just got to follow your directions on it. So let's start this bad boy up. Okay, so where we last left off, Rome is on a tear here. They have pretty much conquered everybody and everything. So what they're going to do is now just, kind of hold their own and grow their empire up, and they're going to expand as much as they can. So they conquered Italy. They conquered most of what will be Europe at this point, or a lot of Europe around the Mediterranean Sea. But they did still face some challenges from abroad, and that meaning that places from a little bit further away. So it goes to this place called Carthage. So Carthage is this place down below here that you see in red with a little arrow. Let me put my little pointer thing going right there. And that is the northwestern part of Africa. As you see, Rome is up here. They've spread throughout pretty well here. And that Carthage is this part here. And then also this area here on the lower part, the southeast corner part of Spain. That's why I had you guys do map tests, which places are which. So on that coast of North Africa, they were wealthy traders, not trade tours, it's a different thing. But they're wealthy traders, and so they had ports that looked like this, where ships would come in and they could trade. Well, the problem is that they didn't like Rome very much. So they fought these series of wars called the Punic Wars with Rome, and the first one starting in 264 BC. So a little while before Rome really becomes that empire. And in this Punic War, they fought over an island called Sicily, which again, as being the little islands getting the toe boot from Italy. And this war lasted for a good 20 years. Now that's a relatively, long war. Keep in mind that they had to travel from place to place, and it wasn't just one battle, it was several battles, so the war took a little bit of time. They fought over Sicily. So why do you think would they want to fight over Sicily? Because it's tiny, it's in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Why would they fight over it? Okay, so that would be because it's so close to both of them. If you're Italy, do you want Carthage, your enemy, parked down below on something that's relatively close to you? No. And flip it over, does Italy want Carthage right there on those islands either? No. So they're going to fight over this land, and in the end, which is there you go, it's a naval battle mostly because it's in the Mediterranean Sea. You can see their big ships into each other. Kind of weird though, because they're like right on the coast, because these guys are staying there. I would think they would like hit the bottom of it pretty soon. But anyways, I'm not in charge of the art for this. I guess I am. But so Rome ends up winning and controlling Sicily. So at this point, what I want you to do is I want you to pause what you're doing, this note set, and I want you to watch this video. Legit, watch it, because it tells you the story of the guy named Hannibal, scary Hannibal Barca, and his father Hamilcar Barca, and why they hated Rome so much. Yeah, it's fairly dramatic, but they honestly did. They really hated it. So pause me in this video, and then go to your classroom, click on the link that I have for part 1 of Hannibal Barca, and watch that, and then come back. So hit pause. And now I'm back. So what do you think? You thought, man, this is really crazy. There's a lot of fighting that's going on. They really didn't like each other, right? So they had like a blood oath. The family did, the Barcas did. And part of the story that I don't think they mentioned much is that Hamilcar's father ends up getting killed by the Romans as he runs away and kind of goes off of a cliff and dies. Hannibal sees this and he's like, "You killed my father, prepare to die." Anybody? Yeah. But anyways, so this continues, and you have another set of battles called the Second Punic Wars, which makes sense because, you know, after the first, you're going to have the second one. It's not going to be like part B or, you know, version 2.0. So Second Punic Wars, and this one here, you can see that it continues where, wow, blue and red, where have we seen that this week, and battles going off. So you have Italy over here controlling all of these, and then you still have Carthage down here at the bottom. Well, you know, Carthage, even though they lost the first one, they're not going to give it up because give up the fighting because they still hate Rome. So this will continue for a long period of time, actually. And once I move me off of here, there you go, that looks a little better. So Rome again tries to establish themselves because they did take Sicily, but it doesn't mean that they beat Carthage and took over their land. So what Rome does is they help the people of Spain to rebel against the Carthaginian Empire. So if you look over here, what they're doing with all those roads coming in, they're providing things, this is from the victories in red, they're providing the people of Spain enough stuff to kind of counteract and rebel against the Carthaginian Empire. And clearly Carthage is going to not like that. You know, that I've said it before, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, you know, the problem is they're still fighting here and it's no good. So upset over the loss of land and the issue with Spain, Carthage still in this fighting, send this guy named Hannibal. Now, when we think of Hannibal, some of you might know Hannibal from the Silence of the Lambs movies or TV shows or whatever, but not that crazy guy, but instead the crazy guy that it was named after, who is Hannibal here. Hannibal was a Carthaginian general, so he was a military guy, and he hated Rome, hated him because they killed his father. How dare they do that? And he thought that Rome was going to try and take over the world. Well, they kind of were. And Carthage says, nope, going to stand in your way. I have to put my hand on that one. And so they decide to actually attack Rome. And so he does. And it's a weird way to attack Rome because nobody would go and attack Rome head on, but this guy says it's what I'm going to do. So he gathers 46,000 men, and 37 elephants to attack Rome head on. And back in that day, people just didn't do that because Rome's big. They're scary. They got a lot of soldiers. How dare you go in and attack them? This guy said, I'm going to make a go of it and see what I can do. They had elephants. You're like, really? That elephants? Yeah, it was Africa. They had plenty of elephants there. And so that's what he was planning on doing, is he's going to bring elephants in to attack Rome head on. But the problem is, you see this little picture here. It says, hey, Dad, I've joined Hannibal's army. The problem to get there is you got to take them by the sea, which I'm not sure that I want elephants on my boat to take them across the sea. That might end badly. So he decides to do a weird route. He decides to cross the Alps to get into Rome. And the Alps, if you don't remember, I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Let me find a picture of Italy. There we go. Are up here. And they're mountains, so they're snowy. They're cold. And you're taking elephants from Africa across this mountain chain. And he says, yep, going to make this thing happen. So he actually does. And so he ends up losing a lot of men. He loses some elephants, as the video here in a little bit we'll actually talk about too. But they do make it. And this is unique because nobody thinks that you will ever cross the Alps to get into Rome. And he's going from north. He's going north and then got to drop down south instead of going over by the waterway. So this is one of the few times that we will see Hannibal be a tricky guy. And in the second and third videos to talk about this, or the clips about what he did in order to get success and victories. And we'll talk about it when we come back here in just a little bit. So they end up defeating Rome at this Battle of Cannae. And the Battle of Cannae is a very tricky battle. We'll get to this guy in a second here. Can I move this over? No, I probably won't move over, but this is supposed to be a picture of a little elephant here falling off the cliff. You can see him, be sad for him. But they end up defeating them at the Battle of Cannae. And to give you an idea, again, to beat Rome, you had to use great tactics. And so he did. He used the mountains to hide and come down and push the Romans into the Mediterranean Sea. But then also this formation is fantastic because it's a great military strategy. So what he does is he starts in this line. And here comes Rome. Rome's going to attack them, coming down. And so instead of facing them head on, what he does is he buckles his middle. As you can see the picture down below here. He buckles his middle, and what he does is he suckers Rome to come into that middle part. No, that's not what I'm doing. To come into that middle part, and then he closes the outsides as Rome is pushing in. And what he basically does is he brings in his cavalry, not cavalry, it's a different thing, his horses from around the backside and closes the gap. So Rome is now in this great big circle, and he just comes in, and smushes the Romans. It's great tactic, crushes the Roman army. Now, it only works one time because you're not going to get fooled by that method, but that little half-moon technique actually helps Carthage win a major battle against Rome, which no one has done. They literally destroy the army. So this guy has done a couple great attacks on Rome and has been successful. So that's the big thing that we're going to take from the day is people can defeat Rome. Now, it's not going to last, spoiler alert, but there is actually a group called Carthage that could do this because of the techniques that they actually had used. So for the time being, at least in part one, day one, Rome is losing. Rome's not doing very good. And so what we're going to do is you're going to go to the second video that I've attached with this guy here. It kind of looks like a guy from the doctor from Back to the Future. Yeah, the guy who helps Marty McFly out. Yeah, but anyways, I won't laugh because my hair is getting like that too. Spike it up a little bit. Okay, but anyways, I digress. So at this point, what we're going to do is this is the end of my note set after 11 minutes, plus the 2 videos you've watched. Yeah, it's about 20 some odd minutes or so. So there you go. So enjoy your second part, and we'll come up and finish Hannibal and the battle for Rome in just a little bit. So watch the second video, finish your note set. Actually, do your note set up through this section I forgot. We'll finish it on Tuesday. At least get this first part done, watch your stuff. Friday, you don't have to check in, but you do have to come here, and you have to get on your computers, and I'm going to drop a quiz on you. You're going to take it during this period. All right, so study your note sets. I won't actually ask you anything about the back end of this, but maybe on the front end. Ooh. So have a good one. Watch the video.